The U.S. military just launched Operation Project Freedom. 15,000 troops, guided missile destroyers, over 100 aircraft, taking control of the Strait of Hormuz today. Iran fired back. The UAE intercepted missiles. The Dow dropped 557 points. And while all of that was happening, Bitcoin held $80,000. I'm Tony. Welcome to Tony Crypto and Stock News. It is Monday, May 4th, and we have a lot to break down tonight. We are dropping this episode tonight so you have everything you need before tomorrow's open. Tonight, the Iran escalation and what it means for your portfolio. The Clarity Act just hit 72% odds on POLYMARKET after a massive weekend breakthrough. Apple crushed earnings and Morgan Stanley just raised its target to $330, and Bitcoin touched $80,322 this morning before pulling back. Let's get into all of it. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Some links are affiliate links. Here are your Monday closing numbers first. Dow Jones closed at 48,941, down 557 points, a drop of 1.13%. S&P 500 down 0.41% to 7,200. Nasdaq down 0.19% to 25,067. WT. Crude oil surged 4.39% to $106.42. Brent crude up 5.8% to $114. And here is the number that matters most. Bitcoin closed at $79,993, up 1.36%. While every major stock index sold off, Bitcoin went up. Let that sink in. So what happened? President Trump announced Project Freedom, mobilizing 15,000 service members, guided missile destroyers, and over 100 aircraft to escort commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. 2 U.S.-flagged vessels completed the first transit. Iran warned it would target any U.S. ships approaching. Then the UAE said it intercepted missiles fired from Iran, the first activation of the UAE missile alert system since the ceasefire began. Iran also struck an ADNOC crude oil tanker with 2 drones. The tanker was uncrewed. No casualties. No. What this means for your portfolio: oil above $106 makes Fed rate cuts nearly impossible. The Fed is more boxed in than ever. Materials and industrials were the worst S&P sectors. Energy stocks, APA, Exxon, Diamondback, the only winners. And Bitcoin proved for the second time in 2 weeks that it moves like a political instability hedge when geopolitical risk spikes. If this is adding value, hit that like, subscribe, and share with one person who needs to hear it. It really helps the channel grow. Now the story that directly affects every crypto token in your portfolio. Over the weekend, Clarity Act odds jumped from 47% to 72% on POLYMARKET in 1 weekend. What happened? Compromise text emerged on the stablecoin yield dispute, the single biggest sticking point blocking the bill for months. Crypto firms can still offer stablecoin reward programs under the compromise, but they cannot offer yield that is functionally equivalent to what banks offer. The White House brokered this compromise between Senators Tillis and Alsobrooks and the crypto and banking industries. Senator Tim Scott confirmed he has additional Republican votes secured. The Senate Banking Committee is now targeting a markup the week of May 11th, 1 week from today. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse publicly estimates 80 to 90% odds of passage. And here's the signal most channels are missing. On May 1st, European asset managers met with the SEC Crypto Task Force specifically to discuss Clarity Act implementation. When offshore institutions start planning for a law that hasn't passed yet, they are treating passage as certain. The SEC scheduling this roundtable tells the Senate, "We are ready to implement if you pass it." The hard deadline. Senator Lummis has been crystal clear. If Clarity does not clear Senate committee before May 21st, the next realistic window is 2030. 8 working days. 1 holdout. Senator John Kennedy. That is what stands between crypto and its biggest legislative win ever. If markup happens week of May 11th, XRP, Solana, HBAR, and the entire altcoin market reprice immediately. Apple crushed earnings Thursday night. Let me give you the fast version. EPS of $2.01. beating the $1.95 estimate. Revenue of $111.2 billion, up 17% year over year. Services hit $30.98 billion, up 16%. China sales surged 28% to $20.5 billion, and the board authorized another $100 billion in share buybacks plus a 4% dividend increase. Morgan Stanley responded by raising Apple's price target to $330, one of the highest on the street. Apple stock closed at $280 Friday, up 3.32%. Today, it fell 1.2%, but that is entirely Iran. Apple's numbers were strong. On any normal Monday after these results, AAPL would have opened up 3 or 4%. The Iran-driven market sell-off gave you a better entry point if you were eyeing it. One more thing. Incoming CEO John Tillis appeared on the earnings call for the first time. He said, "This is the most exciting time in my 25-year career at Apple." No product details, but the tone was confident. Watch Tillis closely over the next 12 months. He is the next chapter of Apple's story. Two critical data points most channels are not covering today. Bitcoin touched $80,322 early Monday morning, its highest level since October's all-time high. Then Iran news hit and it pulled back to just under 80,000. But Bitcoin closed up 1.36% while stocks sold off. That is the Bitcoin hedge thesis playing out in real time. Here is the structural data point that is being completely ignored. Bitcoin's RHODL ratio is at 4.5, the third highest reading in Bitcoin's entire history. The only two prior comparable readings were at the 2015 cycle bottom and the 2022 cycle bottom. Both were immediately followed by sustained bull markets. This metric tracks the ratio of recently moved coins to coins held long-term. At 4.5, long-term holders are not selling, they are holding through the noise. April spot ETF inflows, $2.44 billion, strongest since October 2025. Whale wallets holding 1,000 or more Bitcoin grew by 142 addresses over 6 months. Futures funding rate at -5%. Institutions are long on spot ETFs while hedging with futures. That is accumulation, not distribution. Quick XRP update. The 3-week ETF inflow streak ended. Small $35,000 net outflow for the week ending May 1st. Not alarming. It is a pause, not a reversal. The fundamentals are stronger than ever. TAS Live, Atkins non-security ruling Clarity Act at 72% odds and markup week of May 11th. At XRP Las Vegas, Garlinghouse dismissed an IPO saying Ripple is focused on compliance and infrastructure over public markets. And separately, Evernorth, a $1 billion-plus public XRP treasury vehicle, just added OpenAI's CFO to its board. Institutional professionalization of XRP is quietly accelerating while retail is focused on price. Fast picks, and these are different from last week because the market is different. Iran changes the playbook. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Some links are affiliate links. Stocks. Apple. Down today on Iran only. Morgan Stanley target 330. Services growing 16%. The dip is not an Apple problem. It is an Iran problem. APA and Exxon. The Iran war is keeping oil above $100, and these names are direct beneficiaries. Energy was the only winning sector today. Strategy? Bitcoin touched 80,000 today. Strategic reserve announcement coming any day. Palantir, up 1.4% today, the only major tech in the green. Record Q1 revenue on AI government contracts. AI defense is its own category. Crypto. Bitcoin, structural data is bullish. RHODL cycle bottom signal. 80,000 rejection. Today is Iran noise, not a top. XRP, Clarity Act markup. Week of May 11th is the catalyst. Watch $1.44 resistance for confirmation. Chainlink and Solana, both showing positive funding rates, outperforming Bitcoin in the derivatives market right now. And Hyperliquid. decentralized perps exchange that now offers tokenized oil futures. If you want to trade the Iran oil volatility in crypto, Hype is the only token that gives you that exposure. Undercovered. Worth watching. 3 signals your portfolio needs to track. Not 5, not 10, 3. 1. Iran is the single biggest portfolio variable right now. It overrides earnings, Fed language, and crypto catalysts. Oil above $106 boxes the Fed in and keeps inflation elevated. If Iran escalates further, oil goes to 120, the Dow drops another 500 points, and Bitcoin and energy stocks are the only hedges. If Iran de-escalates, everything rallies hard and fast. Watch the Strait of Hormuz headlines before the market open every single day this week. 2. Clarity Act markup is scheduled for the week of May 11th. That is 7 days from now. POLYMARKET at 72%. Garlinghouse at 80 to 90%. The stablecoin yield compromise is done. One senator, John Kennedy, stands between the crypto market and its most important legislative win since the Bitcoin ETF approval. If markup happens, XRP, Solana, and HBAR reprice immediately. Be positioned before the vote, not after. 3. Bitcoin structure is bullish despite the pullback. RHODL at 4.5. April ETF inflows 2.44 billion. Whale accumulation. Negative futures funding means institutional longs are hedging, not distributing. The 80,000 rejection today is Iran noise, not a structural reversal. The real test is Friday's April jobs report. Weak jobs, rate cuts return, Bitcoin rallies. Strong jobs, consolidation continues. Know the date. Set your alerts. Quick recap of the picks. Apple, APA, Exxon, Strategy, Palantir for stocks. Bitcoin, XRP, Chainlink, Solana, and Hyperliquid for crypto. Watch Iran every morning. Clarity Act week of May 11th, and jobs report Friday, May 8th. And trade all of these on Kraken. Affiliate link in the description. We also use Descript for our AI voiceover, and right now, you can get 50% off the Creator Monthly plan for 2 months using our link, also in the description. Both links support the channel and help us keep this content coming every single day. Before I let you go, I want to speak to something real tonight. Philippians 4 verse 6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, present your requests to God." Missiles in the Strait, oil above $106, Dow down 557. It can feel overwhelming. The news cycle is relentless right now. Every morning brings something new to be anxious about. But this verse does not say, do not be anxious about the small things. It says anything, including the market, including Iran, including your portfolio. The same God who holds the nations in his hands holds yours too. Make wise decisions. Watch the data. Know your levels. And then, trust the process and trust the one who is ultimately in control. Peace is available even on a Monday like this, and that peace will actually make you a better investor because it keeps you from making emotional decisions at exactly the wrong time. If tonight's episode helped, smash that like, hit subscribe, share it with someone in your circle. I'm Tony. God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it.